There was a team of policemen on the top floor, examining a great pile of tickets taken out of the machines. One of them looked up as Falcon emerged from the lift. What was his name? Williams or Willard or something? "What have you got?" Falcon demanded. "Nothing very much, sir, except one thing." "Go on." "When the used tickets are sucked into the machine, they fall into a compartment, sir. They're emptied regularly throughout the day, but nobody touched the machines after the boy disappeared, so at least we've been able to work out, more or less, where people were coming from at around about 5:15 this afternoon." "And?" "Well, it's quite strange, really. There are about 40 tickets from the same station, Burnt Oak. It struck me as odd." "Why?" "Well, sir, Burnt Oak isn't a very important station, tucked away almost at the end of the Northern Line, and it just seems strange that so many people should have made the same journey, Burnt Oak to Covent Garden, at exactly the same time." "All right, Williams," Falcon said. "Have the tickets sent to my office." "Yes, sir," the policeman scowled. "My name's Willard, sir." Later that night, Falcon lay in bed in the small flat he rented in a back street in Victoria. He was only half asleep. He was trying to dream about Norfolk. He could just picture himself out on the beach, watching the sunset with his dog. What sort of dog would he buy? An Alsatian, perhaps? No, that would remind him too much of the police. But try as he might, he couldn't dream what he wanted to dream. The scene kept changing. There was Eric Smith, standing on the sand in his combat trousers, surrounded by people carrying parcels and shopping bags. Something rose out of the sea. It was the lift. The door slid open and Eric walked into it. But now the lift had changed. It had become some sort of metallic monster, and the doors had been replaced by jagged teeth that sliced down. Eric screamed. The waves rolled in, and Falcon woke up with a start, surprised and relieved to see that it was 7 o'clock, the start of another day. Beagle was waiting for him at the office. "We've had a breakthrough," he said. "Oh, yes?" Falcon had brought himself a bacon roll on the way in. It was still in the bag, beginning to get cold. "One of the men on the screen," Beagle said. He was pleased with himself, and Falcon guessed that he had probably been working all night. "One of the men in the lift with the boy. I thought I knew him from somewhere, and I was right." He took out a photograph and slid it onto the desk in front of Falcon. A big man with a beard and a wart on his nose. Falcon remembered him from the security pictures. "Who is he?" he asked. "He's a professor at the University of London, also a writer. His name is Abraham Orlov." "Doesn't sound English." "I believe he was born in the Ukraine." Falcon studied the photograph. "You said you knew him," he muttered. "Has he got a criminal record?" "No, sir, but I was at London University, and although I never met him personally, he stuck in my mind. Do you remember that plane crash about 8 years ago?" Falcon shook his head. "A small plane went down in the Arctic Circle. There were 70 people on board, mainly academics, geologists, that sort of thing. They'd been studying the ozone layer up in Greenland. It was assumed that they were all killed, but in fact more than half of them survived, stuck in the ice for almost 5 months. Yes, Falcon did remember something now. The story had made every newspaper at the time. There was something about it that made him feel uneasy. What was it?